Hey going guys, bennymacca here with Doug's again. How you doing, mate?
I'm going good, mate. Let's get into this.
So this time we've got a hand history from John, who is johnscon74 on stars, and this is a $10 20. Not exactly sure what it is, but he goes pretty deep, and it's like 300 hands, so it's probably
Like a 3K, 4K.
something like that. I don't know, but yeah. Anyway, we'll just get into it. Probably don't need to open this like first hand, but whatever.
And if you're opening 3x rather than 2.5,
Yeah,
150 bigs effective.
it's kind of meh. Like I don't hate
Yeah.
opening, but whatever. Fold. Oops. Fold's fine. Tens. Yeah, I'm making it 3x just for the fact that if we're 100, well, we're 150 bigs deep, and by putting that extra big blind, it just exponentially increases on further streets. So it means that if we flop gin, we might actually be able to get in on the river. Whereas if we min raise or go 2.5x, it's pretty impossible
We're
to.
gonna have to put raises in like twice pretty much to get it in. We need 5 bets to get it in if we use the sizing as opposed to 3 and a bit.
Yeah. Okay. Ace Jack, and there's an opener and a call. I like just defending here.
Yeah, I don't really see much value in squeezing unless you have notes on that Michael J Bar being a super fish. But even then, with that stack,
Yeah,
people just like to punt when they've already lost 2/3 of their starting stack, even though they're 50 deep.
yeah. Well, and this early in the tournament, Simbad Lion isn't going to be.
Oh, stealing very wide.
Yeah, he's not going to be stealing very wide, so he's probably flatting every time you ISO anyway. So you're never narrowing down by raising here. So I think it's fine to cool. Um,
Uh, suppose I don't really see the value in calling. Like we're pretty much hoping to go runner clubs.
we're pretty yeah, and given that we're out of position as well, like it's going to be quite hard to get paid on our cards. Like if it comes an ace here, and then we all of a sudden, what are we doing? Are we leading out turn? Because then if we do that,
Probably leading turn if I call, but I
it
mean
kind
I
of
don't really.
turns our hand face up, right? If
Yeah,
we
but
if we did that, so like it's going to be hard to get value here, even when we hit, unless it goes runner on a flush, as you say.
yeah.
Um, it's
Well, now I'm leading.
besides an ace, it's pretty much the best card in the deck for us. So yeah, I'm
Yeah,
definitely leading here, like 150.
I'm probably like I'd go bigger. I'd
Probably
go
even like
like
200, I suppose.
two, yeah, like 2.5, 2.10, which is might be a bit big, but I mean people are gonna call and fold river,
Yeah. Um,
and like if only Michael J calls, then we're left with about pot size on the river if we go 200 ish.
yeah, it's true. So we check and then we hit our flush and lead out. I like this sizing on the river, but I think we
Yeah.
could have even done it on the turn. And
Oh, that's easy. Cool.
oh, wow. Um, he probably calling anyway on the turn,
Yeah.
but so good. Yeah, I'm just folding that after that limp.
Don't see the value in this really.
If it's suited, I quite like it just because
Yeah,
we
well,
have
if it's
a lot
suited,
more
we've got
implied.
implied odds, whereas here we're just like hoping to flop. Like we're never getting value when it's an ace high flop, really, and we're never, five's never going to turn the best hand. I'd much rather limp something a bit more playable. Like I'd have 10-9 off before I have ace five off.
Yeah, I agree. Because yeah, as you say, an ace high flop. If this guy that limped from early position comes out firing, we're not really sure about our hand, so we're still going to be playing cautiously. Which is, if we hit a good hand for our, if we have a good
Mm.
flop for our hand and we're still playing cautiously, that's usually a bad sign.
I'd actually rather raise than limp behind with ace five off.
Yeah,
Just because we can see bet and show an immediate profit because they'll play for fold.
yeah. I don't really like limping ever here. It it does set up a chain of limpers, but now
There's just no
we're
need
still
for
out
it.
of position now, so it's just going to be really hard to play. And we just,
I mean, that's just bleeding big blinds. Like, you're not showing a profit on the hand when you limp. Like,
yeah,
yeah, sometimes we might like flop gin and just smash some guy who can't fold. But most of the time, like,
yeah. I mean, if there was already one or two limpers and you were just limping behind,
behind, yeah, that's
I
okay.
think that's
But
completely fine. But I don't really like open limping because it just you have to hit to win the pot. And with King 10 here, given that we're now playing 4 ways after we limped, it's just going to be very hard to have the best hand, and we're going to be playing out of position against one of the guys, or two of the guys, and it's just going to be really hard to know where we're at.
yeah, but even with other like limpers out there, King 10 plays pretty well versus their limp calling range, especially
Yeah.
when we see bet. I mean, I'd just rather raise it. I don't
Yeah.
see any real value in being really passive versus a table that has already shown they're not super good, judging by the hands that got in here.
Yeah, wow. Oh, they both had straights and
Diamond
yeah.
on the river.
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, walking's fine there. You don't need to.
Oh, they're just going to call so wide, and our equity is going to be so horrible on so many boards.
Yeah.
And we really need them to fold a lot of flops to make it profitable. And even then, like, the flops that we hit are the flops that they're going to fold on with almost all of their range.
Yeah, I agree.
So we never get value.
So now we got 2 limpers and we ISO with 5x, which is fine.
Yeah, it's cool by me.
They're both cool.
No, check back.
Yeah.
We don't fold out JX without firing 2 barrels. Like, and if one of them calls with any kind of Broadway, the other guy's calling as well. So, like, we really, really need them to have, like, both have, Broadway draws or smaller pairs for this to ever go through.
Yeah, and some Broadways might even call here because they got gutters.
Yeah, Broadways will call 1, but we have to fire 2 to get them off.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's really lucky. That's like they both had small pairs, which doesn't happen that often combo-wise, really.
Yeah, I mean, they may not call with King 10, but they definitely do sometimes.
Well,
so it's only really...
You're going to be hard pushed to push the limp caller off anything.
Yeah.
Really, on a flop like that. Like, this is a flop that smashes their range. They have all suited and unsuited aces in their range. They have a scary number of combos of aces. If we had any ace, like, if we had all aces, would be value betting everything. We could even value bet hands like, like, we could value bet, like, kings and queens, I guess, if we bet a bit smaller to keep, like, the draws and the Jack X in. But I don't really see how this is a value bet, and I don't see how it's a bluff.
Yeah, because, I mean, their limp calling range is as you said, all aces, probably some suited raggy kings and stuff like that, and Broadways and low pairs, mid to low pairs. So, as you say, the only bits of that range that they fold are if they limped with some sort of, King 9, they're probably folding, and
smaller pairs than ours.
And smaller pairs than ours, yeah. Alright, so we pick up ace 8.
It's okay.
Yeah,
he's made the thing that him making it so small with like 100 bigs effective is that, or we're not 100, like 85 whatever we are, is that we can do this quite easily. He's just setting a price where we're almost always getting the correct implied odds to kind of play hands like these in position, and when they check through.
So you're checking through here and just taking a card?
No, when they check through, I mean, we can either decide to bet or... Yeah, I don't really... But the thing is, all we have to worry about is the big blind, because the opener doesn't check call any of his range. No one checks calls their range here. So we only have to actually get through one person, even though it looks like 2.
Yeah, I mean, unless he flops really huge, but then, as we've seen on the turn, he checks again. And then
now we have to fold.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I think you played that okay.
I'd probably bet flop, to be honest. Like,
Yeah, you're right.
especially, and because it's three-way, like the more people there are, the more likely the small blind's going to lead his stronger hands.
yeah.
So, and
Well,
we
could
actually,
we bet turn here as well? I guess we probably could.
yeah, I would. I mean, frankly, when the 9 comes on the river, it means that guy's either like hit a gutter or hit two pair or something. Like, you could have 7-8 or Jack Queen makes most sense when he leads river.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, or
yeah, I'd be
maybe just
folding.
like a 10. He could easily just
Yeah,
have a 10 that he checked twice
or
as well.
like yeah, like 10-9 he's scared of. Suddenly he's just you
Yeah.
know. I'd be defending this. Yeah,
Yeah. Even though it's a 4x.
especially because 4x. That means he doesn't know what he's doing,
Yeah.
and it's not like everyone raises small blind versus big blind. It's not an especially strong range.
Yeah. So I kind of like checking back here, just for
Yeah,
the fact that if we get check raised, we've got our hand's got a fair bit of equity here, and if we get check raised, we're hurting life, and we probably have to fold. So I think taking a free one's fine.
yeah, I agree. I also think it's good because when we like turn equity, we can raise, and it puts him in an awful spot because he'll be betting turn almost all the time.
Yeah. And see, this check back, it tells him that we don't have an ace. I'd probably, if I'm betting flop, I'm probably betting turn here, but
Yeah, I agree.
I'd probably check back and then
It also kind of sucks because he has a lot of ace-x in his range that he check calls the flop with. Like those are the hands that he doesn't want to fold like ace-6 or ace-7 or ace-8 blind versus blind, but he doesn't want to bet them either.
yeah,
Not ace-8 obviously because that's second pair, but
yeah. Completing here is fine.
don't love it. I'd probably just fold, but I mean it doesn't hurt.
Yeah, I'm folding now though. Yeah, I don't think I mean, on the flop here, here we're getting, where are the pot odds aren't gone? There we go. We're getting 5-1. So we only need 16% equity to make this call. So given that we're 80 bigs deep on this guy and 50 on the other guy, I don't mind completing. I think it's neither here nor there, really.
Yeah, I
But I'm definitely
really
folding
don't
now.
like calling here
Yeah.
because we now need 26% equity, which is just never happening.
Yeah, we need
versus
26% now, so
just never ever happening versus a big blind ISO.
yeah. And now
And then we just fold like 70% of flops, and the flops that we do continue on, we don't really beat his barreling range.
Yeah, so we just gave up like 3.5 big blinds here for nothing because we're basically never continuing on a flop.
Yeah, set
How deep
money
are we?
fine.
60s, yeah, set money's still fine. Wow, yep, that's fine. Fold. Oh, aces and jacks.
Great board to set mine on.
Yeah. Now we're getting close to. He's only got 45, and
I wouldn't be.
Carrows.
I would be flatting here.
you'd be flatting or folding.
I wouldn't be flatting. I'd be folding.
Yeah, I would be too. I just think these are starting to get a little bit too short. I mean, if we all had say 80 bigs, like if they had 4K or even 75, what we've got now, I think it's okay. But they're starting to get slightly short.
And the guy on your left has shown a propensity to isolate and squeeze.
Yeah.
So this is his fourth time now, and not many hands that we've had.
Yeah.
30 hands. So I mean, just there's no need to make it more attractive.
Yeah, I agree. Action one time, didn't get it. Yep, both of that's super standard.
Yeah. Don't know why they changed your sizing.
It's probably like a timeout click or something like that. Like when you, I mean, sometimes
Come back from a slash and have to hit the mouse.
Yeah, or you're looking at other tables and then you realise you're time banking on this one already, so you just click quickly. I hope it's that. We'll give you the benefit of the doubt on this one, I think.
No, it's
Or maybe not.
continuous.
Yeah.
Go back to the previous sizing.
Yeah, 2.5's fine. I still make it 3, but 2.5's okay, I think. But I don't think min raising is that great. I mean, some people do like doing it real early, but I think you have to be really, really good post flop to be able to do it. And
I just don't think it's profitable almost no matter what, because it's just almost impossible to get stacks in,
yeah,
which is, what you want to be doing with your value range, and it's really hard to garner much fold equity, so what you end up doing is just playing smaller pots, not having a very polarized range, and just, like, yeah, you might outplay people and get some thin value, but if you
yeah,
triple barrel and get called off, or stack off, like, it's just so much harder to get in.
yeah, I agree. So on the flop here, I think you can bet bigger too, like
Yeah.
150
You
or
can go bigger than
135.
that. You could go bigger than that, really. Look how deep we are. I'd go like 185, 195. There's an
Yeah,
argument you could even go like 205, but that just looks scary, so I'd probably go like high 180s, 190s.
yeah, I think 185 is pretty good. Oh, we get a fold anyway. So bad luck.
Just folding.
Yeah, I mean, what does he limp and then just fire out here? Like, what's his range?
He's just got heaps of King X.
King
Could
X
see
is
the
probably 10,
King X.
probably 10 Jack, which we flip against.
Yeah, I was thinking.
It's probably like 10-7 as well, which we're still not doing great against.
Queen Jack. Like Ace 9, maybe Ace 8. 7-6, but nothing that we crush and nothing that we can sustain future bets from.
Yeah, and that's the key point here, I think, because if he's double barreling even with his 10 Jack, he's got he's ahead with his 10 Jack in terms of equity right now. But even if he barrels turn, if it comes a deuce and he barrels, what are we going to do? Are we going to be calling off here?
Like, unless we know he's just going to bet, like, this is an argument if we think he's fishy that he'll bet once and give up with just air, then we can call and shut down.
Yeah, this looks very value-y to me, though.
Yeah.
His bet on the turn here, I think he's probably got a king here most of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he should...
So now he...
Like, what hands in his range is he doing this with? Like, 10 Jack just got there.
Yeah.
Like...
I mean, unless he has complete airballs, that's the only...
Yeah. He'd have to just be random spazzing out, but there's no reason that would know this.
Yeah.
The razor's gross because with his stack size he won't fold a king. He won't fold 9-8s. He won't fold any 2-pair really. He won't fold.
I mean, maybe something like King 10 he might fold. Like,
but King 10 he blocks straight. It's not that he's thinking that much, but look at the price he's leaving himself.
Yeah. Yeah, he's only needs... Well, he's getting 3.5 to 1 here on the river.
He needs like 22% equity. It's just not, we only have to be spazzing 1 in 5 times or value betting worse 1 in 5 times.
Yeah.
1 in 4 times.
He folds. I think this is a king, and I think he's probably just put you on a straight and folded. I
don't think it makes it a good play.
I think 10 Jack is in our range, but I think it's pretty optimistic to think he's going to fold, given that he's only got 1350 left. Like if he had 3k left here, then as played, raising's kind of better. But even though it does look ridiculously strong here, I just don't think we can expect folds enough of the time.
And it's pretty anti,
yeah.
People just don't go after pots. And if he's a fish, he's got like the only other hands we might make fold here is like really passively played like 10s or something weird like that, where he's just limped pre, completed pre, and then just bet 3 streets and just to fold because we must have a king. But I mean, there's just in terms of combos, there's just so few hands that we're gonna make fold here. Because king, I don't see king queen or king jack or king 10 really even folding, just because the board's just not that coordinated. we had to have exactly Jack 10 to get there. It's not like a flush overcards and a straight came in.
Yeah.
Like one draw came in.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, honestly, I think this is probably King 10 or like some lower king, like King 6 or something like that he limped with. They're really, like, low kings are really the only hand I can see that he folds here.
But even then, most villains won't fold them.
No,
like,
they only fold them, so only some villains would fold them some of the time, I think, as well. So, I think we got a little bit lucky there.
Yeah. I think if we ran that over like 10 times, we'd lose 8 or 9 times out of 10 on the river when we race there.
I agree. Okay, so we've limped behind here, and effective stacks are like 40-ish against that guy.
I suppose it's okay. I don't mind ISOing him either, just because he's limping pretty so often.
One thing I don't mind about limping is just the fact that we're deep against the blinds. So
yeah, and that we're suited.
And that we're suited. So if we flop Jin and one of these guys also has flops okay, we can probably stack one of these guys. I mean, there has to be some sort of dream flop, but like if we ISO and these guys are probably deep enough to flat pretty wide as well, which just bloats the pot a bit. So I don't actually mind limping here. And he just leads out. And yeah, whatever. It's fine. We didn't invest much. Ten deuce. Folding.
Not defending ever.
We don't. He's only
27 effective.
Yeah,
30 effective with his raise.
Deep now, so we're never flopping a decent enough hand here, I don't think. Let me just check. Oh, okay, we're not check folding.
I'd definitely be folding the flop.
Yeah, I just think this is pretty unnecessary. In it, I mean, if you want to make a move, it's not really the spot, and I wouldn't be calling here if that's the case.
And our gutters not really worth anything.
Yeah, because it's an action killer. Like a 3 is just going to. Even if he has like 10s, he's just going to shut down.
And moreover, the 3 is going to bring in the higher end of the straight.
Yeah, that's true.
So any 7s in his range just stack us.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah. See, I just think that's completely unnecessary, and I think you can save like 400 in chips by just folding pre here. Pick up the ace-5. Now, this is under the gun raise from like a 30 5 big blind stack. I'm probably folding here. What do you think?
Yeah. But yeah, well, I don't really see any benefit in... Like, we're not properly going to flat and play in EP range with our hand.
Yeah.
And that kind of stack size is... Like, it would be different if it was, like, the guy next to us and we knew he, like, raised and 3-bet really wide. But it's not. He hasn't done anything as far as I can tell. Unless we have some kind of read on him, I'm just getting out of the way.
Yeah, see,
just
the problem...
using the blinds.
Yeah, see, the problem is, like, an under-the-gun range here is, like, Broadway aces... King, Queen,
like
and like 6s plus. So we have 3 outs against that whole range, basically, and we're getting value towns when an ace comes because...
And we're getting value town when the 5 comes.
A lot of the time, yeah. So it just becomes really tough to play unless we hit our flush, really. Or we, flop a flush draw, which is good for us. So that's not a bad flop.
That's actually a good board for our range.
Yeah.
But even so, like, so many of his Broadway hands just won't fold.
So, yeah, we just float here. Once again, I just think this is unnecessary. Because now we pick up equity on the turn, but we still don't know whether that's good or not. Like, he could be double barreling over pairs.
And he's most... Like, when he bets out on the turn, he's most likely going to pile river.
Yeah, because he set it up quite nicely for a river shove as well. And now he check folds. So
I don't see any value in betting there.
No, because the hands we beat the hands that he does this with after we check are like 9s, 10s, ace,
10s,
king, ace, queen. Like if he's double
Yeah.
barreling ace king or something like that. And so we beat quite a lot of, ace king, ace
Yeah.
queen, ace 10 maybe.
And yeah, most of the only ones that are double barreling are the ones with hearts anyway.
Yeah. So something like 10s may check call. I mean, probably not, but I just think we're going to check back here.
I don't think tens fold here when we bet 1k. I think they cry and call.
Yeah.
Like we should be piling our entire range.
Just think about
for
if
value.
we had a jack here
Yeah.
or an 8. Do we bet this size when we have a jack or an 8? I don't think we do. I think we ship.
pile.
Yeah. So really, I think this looks pretty transparent as to like a marginal hand. And so if I have 10s, I'm probably calling here. But I just think this is, as I said before, I just think this is pretty unnecessary at this stage of the tournament. I think you can just play a lot more solid and basically just play hands for value or play hands for their implied odds. And I don't think we had either here. We got 10s.
Fine with the sizing.
Yeah. Yeah, see,
Could even go 2.2 just because the big blind has 22 bigs.
Yeah, at the 50 hunch, I usually make it 2.5. Rather, like we were talking about 3xing before, but I've I do 3x in the early stages, but I've definitely lowered my my open sizes to 2.5 by this level. And ISO is good. Sizing is okay. I like the smallish sizing here because if he puts in...
We can stack him by the river with the sizing. So like we may as well be as small as possible because he's not out. He's drawing to like 2 or 3 outs.
Yeah.
Or we're way behind and we're gonna just pay him off anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. If he has a queen, good game. Like I'm never ever folding here on this board, even if it runs out like really disgusting, which I probably like an ace, but whatever. He folds. Thought that was going to be big hand then. Ace 3, we fold, it's good. Yep. Steel's okay. I like doing it with slightly better hands because we're still pre-ante here, so your steal amount's not worth that much. I mean, we're trying to take 150 in chips and we've got 6.5, so like it's not really adding much to our stack by stealing here, so I'll probably just walk, really. What do you think?
Yeah, if I'm gonna raise, I'm not min raising it. I make it like 2.5 and raise folds.
Yeah, I'm making it 2.5 as well, like the same
But
sizing.
I'm just gonna walk this guy because this guy's one of the only active players who seems somewhat decent, so we may as well just let him have our 50 chips and just not get into barreling situations against one of the more competent players at the table.
Yeah, especially pre-ante. It's just not needed. Like,
Yeah.
It just doesn't... It doesn't...
Help us
it doesn't
much
add
and
to
it
our
hurts
stack.
us a lot.
Yeah. Okay, so we pick up ace 5. Once again, if I'm doing anything here, I'm probably isolating, but he's only got 20 bigs, so I'm just probably folding pre here.
I don't mind isolating if we make it like 270 or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, folding is also fine.
Like we've got
I wouldn't be limping behind.
We've got a good stack here, and it becomes quite like I just don't think it's needed to be playing these sort of pots at the moment.
Yeah, calling, I guess.
Yeah.
But like we're ahead of his range, but like we can't really get much value from it because we're just playing for showdown.
That's quite a disgusting card for us, really. Like it's good, it's good, but it could also value turn us so hard. I'm probably just calling back here and calling river,
calling.
Unless it's maybe a spade, I'm probably calling river. Oh, it's pretty disgusting. He checked.
See, well, when he checks, I bet small.
Yeah, like.
But if the river was a blank, like if the river was like a deuce of, is a deuce even a blank? Yeah, like a deuce of hearts. I'd probably min raise if he bet really small, just because I expect him a bit bigger with his range. I expect him to just and better. So like we still get value from like ace-x, like better ace-x that way.
Yeah, yeah, that's fair. Um, I Yeah, I agree with, but like when we bet here on the river, if he's checking, is there anything that he check calls on this river?
Yeah, when the
Like
straight runs out, like
probably like ace other better aces than us. Really, it's probably
yeah,
like the
and
only.
like 6-8, 6-7, 5-7,
Yeah, that's true too.
8-7, weaker two pairs, and yeah, sets would probably. So we do lose value when we bet into a set, but I mean, there's so
I
few
think you're right. I think
combos.
there's enough two pair combo, and all of his flushes and his straights
Yeah,
are betting. So
and like there's ace-10 and there's ace like ace-2, ace-3, ace-4.
yeah,
No, ace-4 is awful for us, sorry. Ace-4 and ace-9 are awful for us, but there's ace-10 and there's ace-2, ace-3.
yeah. Um,
Going bigger if I'm 3-betting.
I'm probably
We could
making
just...
it like
Um,
7-7-7. That would be my bet, or 7-8-9, because I like making him increasing.
given how squeeze happy the guy on your left is, there's a good argument for flatting, because we have seen him squeeze almost every time he's had the opportunity to do so.
Um,
But
it's,
and there's also all of the blinds, but then the blinds haven't shown the propensity to squeeze.
I mean,
So I don't
this
think 3-bet
this
giving it is
JP
that
Arnold's
great.
probably like going to flat anyway if he's got anything. Like that's how bad he was before because he's been
Yeah,
limping
it's true.
quite a lot. So like, I'm happy with just three betting here. I mean, I know you like setting up a squeeze here. I probably don't do it often enough, but
It just looks so ridiculously strong because we're 3-betting with 3 shove stacks behind.
yeah. But you're assuming these people know that there's shove stacks behind and things like that.
Well, we know the guy on our left knows that he can shove. Because we've seen him shove before. The other
Yeah,
guys probably don't. But then again, like, there's so many flops where we just... It doesn't matter if they just don't outflop us that often.
yeah.
You know, like, it's not a spot that I'd almost ever be light there. So I don't think it's a great spot to 3 at the top of our range because we just...
Yeah,
It
but I
just
don't
looks
think
so,
pre-ante
so
we're
strong.
ever going to be light ever. So,
Yeah, I know.
I mean, you can't just flat your whole range because I think we still want to try and get value because he's still going to be like raise calling something like ace queen or ace jack,
Yeah,
or
that's true.
pocket nines. So we do get significant value we get more value out of him. And
Yeah, we do stack an okay range system because we're 33 effective-ish.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
So, I mean...
given that we're pre-ante, they're not going to be super squeeze happy either. So I think that's probably another argument for three betting here rather than just flatting.
But I mean, if we flat and don't get squeezed, it's still not the end of the world because we still have a really strong value hand versus range. And like, it's not like we're flatting like something that we're not flatting like nines or anything here to set up a squeeze. There's a really wide range where like we don't want to go to the flop because we're going to be not loving board textures on a lot of flops. There's not that many textures that we don't like.
Yeah, but the problem with flatting is that you're not going to get, like, he's probably getting in tens and jacks pre here, if we three bet. He's probably getting in ace queen. He's probably getting in ace king. And we lose value against all of those hands if we flat rather than three bet.
Yeah, but there's no real value against ace king. We're flipping. We don't gain anything by getting in there. You're 55-45.
It's 57, but
Yeah. That is it's not really an edge we need to be pushing. We can just flat, let someone punt like ace-7 suited or like any smaller pair, which they will.
yeah, but
the
they
big
still
blind
might
probably
get in nines and tens here. Whereas we're not getting three streets against them.
I don't think people really will be getting they'll be getting nines and tens in, but they'd be folding 8, 7, 6s, which they'd be shoving. Or they just overcall and we just bloat the pot and we get paid off because suddenly his C-bet has to be bigger. We call, he flops top pair on like a 10 or jack or 9 high board and we get paid.
Yeah, I think you overestimate people's barreling frequencies and things, to be honest, in this spot. Like, I just think if he has ace queen here, he's probably getting it in pre.
Yeah.
But if not, he's just c-betting and we're calling and then he's probably done a lot of the time. So we're picking up like 6 big blinds instead of 30 in that case.
Yeah, but that's a very, very narrow part of his range. Like,
No, but I think he does that with 10s and stuff as well, depending on what board it is.
Yeah, that's true. But the boards that hit our range, hit like our hand, will hit 10s, so we get paid. If the board comes out ace, king, and he has 10s, then it gets pretty much checked down, and we get to showdown, and it's not the end of the world.
Well, it is the end of the world because we just lost like 30 big blinds of value because we could have got it in pre.
Yeah, but versus range on that board, we're no longer ahead. Just because we had a hand that he beat.
No, I'm talking about pre-flop.
Yeah, I know that.
So we lose against 10s, against his pre-flop range of 10s, we lose 30 big blinds of value by flatting.
On some flops, yeah. But not always.
Yeah, but he's much more likely to get 10s in pre on any board than on any board, just about. Even if it comes 2-2-4, I mean, that's probably the best case scenario. But like, he's still, if you like shove on him.
Yeah, I just think you underestimate how often our 3-bet's going to be successful there. Like, I don't think we get flatted heaps, and I don't think he gets to them that much. Because he'll be raising, going, okay, I can call off the big blind. I'll fold to everyone else.
Like, what is an under the gun range here? Raising range.
Probably like 7s.
Let's pull up the stove here.
6s. He could be opening any pair. So, really.
Like if we said 6s plus, and
even basically crushes his range. I just don't think all of his range gets it in.
No, I'm talking about what range. A lot of his range calls as well. So
yeah, I don't think that he range calls that much.
If that's his range, right?
That's too tight. You gotta go like ace 8 off, ace
8 off under the gun. No way.
Ace 10 off. Sorry, ace 8 suited.
Ace 8 suited under the gun. No way. That's way too loose. I don't understand what hands you think he's race folding here. Then, like, are you saying he happened to have king queen suited? No. I'm not saying he's race folding. Like, I'm saying he's race calling most of his range. Like,
but then what hands is he race folding?
Broadways, basically. Because most people should be having like 13% ish, maybe 15% under the gun range. That's a 15% under the gun range, right? So
yeah, but
he's folding. He's calling all of that except for like king 9, king 10, king jack, queen 10, queen jack, and
jack 10. Yeah.
And he might even call jack 10 suited, possibly not. And king 10 to king queen. So he's still calling all of his aces. He's probably folding at ace 9, but he's calling ace 10 plus, and he's calling all of his pairs. So I think that's like at least half of his range that he's, and possibly more than half of his range that he's calling pre still to a 3-bet. So I just think it's more value 3-betting than just flatting.
Yeah. Okay. You've convinced me. Yeah. I mean,
like this is a pretty wide This is a pretty wide under the gun range too. I think. I mean, this is still early. It's still pre-ante, and so it could even be like 10%, which is like that's a 10% range. So, and I mean, I probably don't open ace 9 suited. And I don't open king 10 and queen 10. So against me, that's probably more...
Yeah, against you, I'd 3-bet get it in, but you'll be getting it in wider. But then, are you raised... Assuming, if we assume he calls too much pre-flop, so he's just calling our 3-bet with a ton of hands, even though it leaves him with, like, an awkward stack size out of position versus a 3-bet pre-flop, pre-ante.
Yeah, but it's still it's still like 35 bigs. I think a lot of people flat, and I think that's where our value is by 3-betting.
Okay.
So after that really long-winded discussion...
I would definitely be making it bigger, though, if I'm 3-betting.
Yeah, I agree. Because the same range is calling regardless of what your sizing is, unless you make it like 4x or something. But like if you make it 2... Instead of making it 2.1x, you make it 2.6x. The same range is calling, so you just pick up an extra half a big blind for free, and it bloats the pot for further streets, which makes it easier to get it in. Um, I don't love this. I mean, this is probably blowing my argument out of the water about people raising really tight, but maybe you just should be. I think I'm folding pre here. What do you think?
Yeah, folding pre's fine. If we
It's still
think
pre-ante
that,
here, so
yeah, the only argument for raising pre is if everyone's running like 9-9 and stupidly tight,
yeah.
and like those guys don't know how to play a short stack.
But we've proven that they haven't because JP Arnold's flooded a couple
Yeah.
of times.
Yeah, no, I say that's the only condition where I'm opening his hand.
Yeah.
Pre-ante. And I'm not raise calling it,
Now,
ever.
three betting and under the gun range is usually ridiculously strong, unless he has a read that
As we showed in the last hand, it's never light. It's tens plus, jacks plus, 9s plus given his stack.
Yeah.
Maybe 8s. But then that and ace jack.
Yeah, as you say,
ace queen.
Our hand with the queens here is a pretty prime example of like we were never three betting light in that spot. We always had a value hand. So yeah, I think I'm just folding.
And even if he's got air, like we're behind a lot of his air. Yeah. If he's 3-betting ace-7 off, which he won't be as a bluff, we have 3 outs against it.
Yeah. Okay, so now he checks. I think he can still check a lot of his range here, just for the fact that he's only got double pot basically, so he can still turn bet river and easily get it in. So
and I think he's like given he 3-bet and checked. I think a lot of the time he's got like ace king, ace queen, ace 10, and he just won't fold it anyway.
Yeah, or he could easily have aces here too.
Yeah, that's
because like they make this bet here. And then, I mean, I'd probably make it bigger if I was him, just for the fact that then he can shove river. But like,
if we call, he's got just over a pot size shove.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true. Sorry. Yeah, I've read that as 500. But yeah. So I just think that's bleeding chips once again. I'm just folding pre. Yeah, see, this here, I mean, it's still a fold, but like this is a much better call than the other one, if you were going to.
That's like the last opponent I'd be calling any raise from, though.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying we should. I'm just saying I think it's a little bit inconsistent that you're folding this, but then calling a free bet in the previous hand.
Yeah,
I think they're both folds.
I agree. I think they're both easily folds, but the under the gun one's easier, is what you're saying? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I think this is just these two guys have both got shove stacks, and he, as we've seen before, he's ISO'd a ton of times. And this is a better spot to ISO. Like, if it's a early position raise and a flat, he's going to ISO a lot less than if it's just limp. So he's going to ISO a ton here.
Yes, so I just get out of the way.
Yeah.
And he piles on us.
Yeah. Yeah, folding's fine. Because, once again, he's going to be reshoving quite a lot.
Yeah, I'd not be opening bigger because we're going to have to raise fold to the stack on our left. We're going to have to raise fold probably to the button. And then we're going to,
He's probably a little bit too big. Well, he can still 3-bet us. So...
Yeah. But I'd rather just make it smaller so that if he flats us, we get to play a pot in position.
I usually make it at this level, I think I'm usually still 2.5xing or maybe slightly less. So I think I'll usually make it 3, 4, 5 here.
But at this level, people are usually a bit deeper. Look at the stacks behind us. We've got 3 stacks, on starting stack and 2 stacks below and half a starting stack.
Yeah.
I'm min raising here because we can almost min raise fold to that shorty in the small blind because he's just never shoving light.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. Gets through.
And it's not like we're going to get any more folds making it that sizing.
Yeah. I'm probably folding here. There's
same.
There's shove stacks, small blind, big blind,
everywhere,
and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shove stacks on us. So, I mean, probably cut off and maybe even hijack on. This is a fine open. but not here.
I do open there occasionally.
Yeah, I
to be
know.
honest.
I know. I just think it's slightly too wide. I mean, I definitely do sometimes, but I just think this, like,
What's your range there actually? I
Um,
wouldn't be folding King Jack suited.
King Queen, King Jack suited possibly, like
Ace 9 suited,
Ace.
Ace 10 off,
Yeah, probably, and like
sevens plus.
yeah, sixes or sevens. Yeah, that's about right.
Okay, so I'm not super wide then. This means this isn't far off and open. Just
No,
not
it's
open.
not. It's not horrible. It's definitely not horrible. If it was suited, I kind of I've definitely opened it in the past. I just think it's just off the bottom of the range, especially, and I think it makes it more of a fold with the shove stacks. Like, I'd probably
Yeah.
tighten up a little bit more than even what we said before. Like, I might even drop, say, Ace 9 and King, maybe even King Queen. I mean, I love King Queen, so I open
I'd
King.
I'd be leaving them back in just because no one apart from the guy on our direct left has shown the propensity to shove. So this is kind of like if
Yeah,
stacks are
that's
slightly
true too.
deeper, this would be a really good place to open. It's just the fact that with our hands, we're getting the correct price to call off versus most people.
Yeah,
So we should call off, even though they're not shoving very often. So it's just kind of setting ourselves up for an awkward spot. Now we should be jamming.
yeah. So if this, I like this bet if we're setting up to just jam any turn against this guy.
Yeah, we have boatloads of equity versus most calling ranges here.
Oh, we
And
just bink
I'll
anyway.
check now.
Yeah, I'm definitely checking because if you check here, he can definitely bluff a 10.
Even,
So,
even if he does something stupid like bets 300, that's 300 we wouldn't get otherwise. Not making it that size.
yeah, see, I think either jam and make it look bluffy or check, and I much prefer checking because it just allows him to hang himself.
Yeah, well, what's he calling versus that sizing on the turn with?
Yeah, nothing. It just looks like a 10. I mean, at the very least, you have a set here, and
Yeah.
even so, I think it's mostly a 10.
Yeah, I strongly agree.
Okay, King 10.
I'm fine with defending here.
What are we?
24? 3, 4?
Yeah, I think it's getting close to the smallest stack. Like
Yeah. But
20.
we're also in the big blind and we're getting the reduced price, so I'm defending here.
Yeah, I agree. But like, if he had say,
17 bigs, I'd be
Se-
folding.
I'd be folding or
Yeah,
jam,
if
or
the thing
jamming,
is,
but-
if he was any lower, it would be getting into the territory where I consider reshoving. He's just got too much to reshove, and I
yeah,
don't want a 3-bet fold. So I think like a hand has plenty of equity versus range here
yeah.
because the guys on our right are pretty tight. So I
So
mean, yeah,
we check raising here.
I'd,
Check
no,
raise
I'd be
get
check
in?
calling,
Check call.
check call, lead a lot of turns.
The problem with check calling is it kills our. I mean, yeah, like. Just so
Like there are draws out there.
I'm just trying to think
But-
if we check raise, like what he would get it in that we beat. Like draws probably.
and
well,
Jack 10,
Jack 10,
10,
Queen 10.
Queen 10, draws 8-7.
Like I'm just thinking
Jack
like
queen.
if the two of spades comes, is it going to kill action against hands that we can?
I don't really think so because we can lead turn and jam river, and his draws, if we bet the right sizing, will call turn, fold river, or jam on our turn bet and we call. And if it peels off like an ace
Okay, see.
or like something awful, we can check fold.
All right, so this is pretty awful.
Yeah,
Are we bet folding here or?
yeah. That's actually kind of gross because a lot of spades are now going to raise us.
Yeah,
So-
I mean this is kind of why I like raise get it in on the flop. I think
Yeah, but this is like top 5% of bad turn cards for us, though. Really,
that's true.
like there aren't many worse than this.
Like, is it almost a
Um,
check fold? It's kind of gross, but like,
It's really sizing dependent. Like if he pots it, I'm folding. If he bets like 400 to 500, I'm probably calling.
okay, so he checks back. That leaves a lot of draws in his range still, because just for the fact that
Yeah.
he has to bet call anything here. So
Yeah. See,
Um,
what I would have done if that was an offsuit 6 is I would have led, like, bet folded.
Yeah.
because his draws will still call. But there's just, yeah. Like, we should almost be leading this turn. If this didn't complete the straight and it was like the two of spades, I think we should also lead. Because we want to charge his, like, any hand with a spade in it will still call. Or jam, so we can almost bet call if we think he's aggressive.
Yeah.
But because it completes both, it's just gross because he's not going to fold better hands.
Yeah, and that's a pretty gross turn because all c-bets, like, he's c-betting most aces, especially the ace of spades, and so I think
he's checking back the ace of spades almost all the time.
Yeah, so I think now it's just a check fold. Like, I think he checks back his tens that we beat now. I don't think he calls any of them. He could bluff, like, missed spades, but a lot of his spades are the ace of spades that got there. So I just think it's a check fold now. And that's good.
Fold.
Yeah, I really like that. So I like the way you played that hand. I thought that was good.
Yeah. That's probably I'd be leading a lot of turns. I think that one's just a bit too gross. Like, I don't think I'd be leading jacks or queens either.
Yeah, or like an 8. An 8's probably pretty bad as well. So it's like a 6, 8, jack, queen, spade. Oh, as you said, a low spade's probably okay, but like...
Low spades are probably fine, and offsuit 6s and 8s is probably fine. No, offsuit 6s and 7s is fine. It's just the spade versions of them and then the spade jacks and queens. Like, obviously the king of spades we can lead as well.
Yeah. Alright, so that's like 50 minutes, so we might just call this apart and we'll come back in a sec.
So...